Claus coming to town. So watch out, you better not cry, you better not pout, I'm telling you why. Santa Claus is coming to town. Santa Claus is coming to town. Santa Claus is coming to town. Hello everyone, I'm Lizzie and this is Lizzie Reads, and Merry Christmas. Yeah, I've been really shit at Vlogmas, really shit. I missed a few in the first week and then was like, yeah, I'm going to have to work really hard to catch up in the second week, which is my busiest week of Christmas so far, because I was out Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday and Friday, and then Saturday was a write-off because Friday night was a drinking evening, my Christmas party. So basically, it's been a disaster. But moving forwards, I've got so many videos that I want to share. They're all still going to be here. They're just not going to be on my scheduled timing. I'm going for, fingers crossed, I'm going for a video every day from today, which is Sunday. But this is another thing, just to interrupt what I was saying. I put up a video on, like, Tuesday, I think it was. I'm sure I put up this video. No, Monday night. I was definitely put up this video, but I didn't actually make it live. I didn't notice because I've been so busy. I haven't looked at my phone, haven't been able to really watch many YouTube videos, haven't checked any, like, comments or anything to see if anyone had commented or anything. So I didn't notice that it hadn't gone live till today. So I was going to upload this video today, and then but I quickly uploaded that one this morning. Definitely got a video for tomorrow, which is your tomorrow. So yes, today's Sunday when I'm filming this. This is going to go live on Monday, and I've already filmed, uploaded and prepped Tuesday's video because that was a vlog, but I wanted to do this video first. And that is my first ever mid-month wrap-up, because I've read quite a lot this December, because I've read a lot of shorter books, and I love reading at Christmas. Christmas is one of my favourite times of year to read. It's so much more enjoyable, and it's just, everything's just great. So I thought I'd do a mid-month wrap-up, but I just wanted to explain in this video that I'm a bit annoyed about this whole thing. But you should be having, I've been sort of like talking all over myself, but you should have a video every day from Sunday, yesterday, all the way until Christmas, because that way I can get all the videos I want out. And yeah, hopefully, fingers crossed, we shall see, because then I will have done like 12 days, 12 videos, or 13 videos I think, because I'm doing one on Christmas Day, or I might just go up to Christmas Eve. We'll see, you'll find out, who knows. But tomorrow you will have a vlog of sort of like the first part of Vlogmas Christmas. So into the video, of course, and that is my reading wrap-up so far. So I'm reading quite a lot of books, and because I wanted to keep a sort of Christmassy, a lot of my Christmas books are going to be sort of in these wrap-ups. So the first book I read in December was a complete flop, and that was The Crown's Fate by Evelyn Skye. Now, I really liked the first book in this, I don't know if it's a duology, I don't know whether it's going forwards or not, but it is in this series, shall we call it, and it was called The Crown's Game, and it's a fantasy novel set in Imperial Russia about two young enchanters, which basically they can do magic, and they are hidden from society because people can't I don't know that. People are frightened of magic in Imperial Russia, so they don't know about magic, and basically their magic is sourced from the kingdom, so they share the kingdom's magic. And the idea of the Crown's Game is that when the enchanters are called upon, there will be the Crown's Game to pick the royal enchanter, because there can only be one. Yeah, and it was really interesting. It was YA fantasy. I really loved the first one, like I was really sucked into it, and this was a huge disappointment for me. It was such a drag to get through. If it was more interesting and I liked it better, I probably would have finished it in November and not carried it into December, but here we are. It was slog to get through. The characters were completely different to the first novel, and the progression was only really a couple of days from end to end, or weeks or whatever. So I was really thinking the characters would be similar, and it was very juvenile in comparison to the first novel, and I was just really disappointed with it. If a third novel comes out, I haven't looked it up or researched it, I might pick it up, give it a go, see what happens. If that is also shit, then that's it. That's my time. That's my... Because, you know, sometimes books get better, series get better, but I just think the characters were done a misjustice, and the ending was rushed. There was a few fight scenes which were really dulled down, and having recently and enjoyed Six of Crows by Leigh Bardugo, where it's quite grim, it's quite brutal, like in sections, and just because they're teenagers and it's aimed at a younger audience, they don't shy away from the necessity to survive. In this, it was like, oh, I don't want to kill anyone, I don't want to kill anyone. It's like, I was like, but this is in a real life situation, or in a more realistic situation, people are more selfish than that. And it's just bizarre. Like, it was just really bizarre. I mean, people did die, but there was I'm not going to go into that. But yeah, it was disappointing for me. I wouldn't recommend, but I would highly recommend The Crown's Game. So, technically, I have recommended it, but we shall see. My fairy lights aren't working out in my favour today. Then, next thing I think I finished, if I'm going in order, was The Snowman by Raymond Briggs, and it's the original classic story. Now, I don't know who you are, where you're watching from, but in the UK, The Snowman is a classic Christmas film. It's a silent film, and it basically, this is the film, because it's just like little screen grabs of the film. It's a silent picture book basically, but it's really nice to enjoy this in. I've been dusty again. No. But it was really nice to enjoy this in my favourite format. I do like a picture book, and I found it quite nice to read like early in the morning. Not early, but like 9 o'clock when I was having a lazy Sunday. But yeah, I really enjoyed it. And I just think the story is so cute. Next, I read what was one of my favourite books of last year, 2017, so this is a reread, and it's now completely beaten up because I accidentally got water all over it, which I'm absolutely gutted about, but it's been like, I sometimes like my books to look a bit rough, especially when it's one I love so much, and that is The Polar Bear Explorers Club by Alex Bell and illustrated by Tomislav Tomic, which is how I think I pronounce their name, but I am unsure. Yeah, I read this in December 2017 and then decided to reread it this year because I loved it so much. It's about a young girl called Stella Starflake Pearl, and she is a child. This is a mid-grade fantasy novel, which is what I've been reading a lot of this year. Interesting. Well, a lot of fantasy, middle-grade YA, some adult, but mostly YA. And I really love this on a reread. So Stella is an orphan. She was found in the Icelands by her father, her now adopted father, Felix, and he is an explorer and he belongs to the Polar Bear Explorers Club. There are 4 rival explorers clubs, and girls aren't allowed to be explorers. So of course Stella goes on an expedition because all her friends, well, one of her friends and a lot of boys her age go on expeditions with their parents, well, their fathers in this case, because there are no mums as explorers, unfortunately. And basically Stella is a really cool young girl, really interesting, and she just sort of fights for what's right. Like, she's got really like a strong moral compass, I guess, and it's got really strong message for children and about what girls can and can't do as well, which is really nice. But what I really liked about this is the characters were so well developed, I thought personally. That each character had like quite a weighty backstory, because there's 4 children who go on this expedition with Stella and obviously all the adults, but they really get to know each other by certain things happening. And that is Beanie, Beanie, Ethan and Shay, and obviously they're all boys because Stella is the first girl to ever go on an expedition. So they're all really interesting. They each have their own like backstories and like interesting lives, which I found quite interesting, and they were all very different, and they made like a nice puzzle. Like they were all puzzle pieces that fit together to make a really interesting and magical children's book. This was so magical, and it has beautiful illustrations. Like, for example, these are the Frosties, which are group of, they're related to fairies. They're in the fairy family, but they aren't fairies. See, that was a 5-star book for me last year and again this year. One of my favourite books of 2017 and 18. Not that I include rereads on favourite books of the year, but the only gripe I had with it, and this wouldn't even knock off half a star because I don't enjoyed it that much, is that there weren't that many female characters. But then I read the sequel, Explorers on Witch Mountain by Alex Bell and Tomislav Tomic. And basically, the 4 young children in this go on their own little expedition because Stella's father has gone to Witch Mountain, and it's a very dangerous place, and she wants to get him back. Basically, I can't tell you too much of the plot because that would spoil the reveal at the end of Polar Bear Explorers Club, but this one brought in so much more. There's more magic, there's more sort of like grounding of those that moral compass that I was talking about. So we see here that not everybody can be tarred with the same brush, etc., that sort of thing. We can see here that there are differences in the races within this story. So for example, witches and ice people, I shall say. We basically can see here, the reader can see that not everybody is the same. And I think, although, for example, witches, they got this very strong perception and stereotype, similar to our own evil witch stereotype in the real world. There is that within this as well, and then they get to Witch Mountain and things at first go along with that, but things seem very different towards the end. They're just not what you'd expect, and I think that's a really nice message to have in a children's book. And also, there are more girls. We meet 2 more young girls in this, as well as some older women who aren't, because the older women in Polar Bear Explorers Club, one of them is a complete horrible person. Like, she's not a horrible person, but she's just like panicky. She wants to get involved. She wants Stella to go to a finishing school so she can basically walk with a book on her head and be a proper woman and get married. Basically, that's the sort of person she is. And she's and there's sort of like an evil character later on in the story who is a woman, and that's all. But in this, it's much more diverse in terms of women. I mean, it's not like 50-50, but I think that might be like sort of going along with the fact that there aren't any women in the Explorers Club, so they're trying to sort of phase it in throughout each book. And I think hopefully the next one will be really, really good, because this was amazing. Yeah, the illustrations are just as good in this one. And look, there's flying sharks. I couldn't rave about it enough. At first I was worried that it wasn't going to match up, but actually it really, really did. So yeah, I'm really pleased with that. And I've gone on about these for 15 minutes. So I've got 2 more little books, so that's fine. But I knew that I want to talk about these 3 novels in particular quite a long time. So that's why I was like, I have to do a mid-month wrap-up. So then I read Pablo Picasso's Noel by Caroline Duffy and illustrated by Leah Maupetit. That's how I think I'd pronounce it. I feel like that's not right, but I don't know, so I'm really sorry if I've pronounced that wrong. But basically this is one of the books that I saw on Lauren on the Books channel. I think she rereads sort of like these Caroline Duffy books every year, and this Pablo Picasso's Noel is basically about Picasso, and they're sort of like long poems with illustrations, and the illustrations are lovely. Look at the little dog. However, I started off with this one and I thought, I really like Caroline Duffy's poetry, but you know, sometimes one just doesn't, click with a poem, and because this is just one poem, I didn't really like this one very much. I just found it like, it was okay, like I enjoyed it, it was nice, and I might enjoy it on a reread if I reread it again next year maybe, but unfortunately that one really wasn't. Why is everything falling over? Wasn't for me. But then me and my boyfriend, I said, do you want to read this with me? Because we sort of read it together. And we read The King of Christmas by Caroline Duffy and illustrated by Lara Hawthorne. And that I enjoyed. I thought this one was really fun. The illustrations were equally as good because the illustrations were different. But it was really funny. It was really interesting. And this one really hit the Christmas spot for me. So I think I definitely will enjoy having a reread of that next year. Disaster. Absolute disaster. I think it's because it's just not working out. But these are the books. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I read 6 books. Stop moving. 6 books this month already. That's amazing. I think I'm on 101 books this year so far, which is wicked. So I've beat my goal and I'm reading so much this month and I'm really excited about it. Even half of them are picture books, but that's still great. I'm really happy about this. Yeah, so thank you so much for watching. I'm sorry Vlogmas has been a bit, but I'm really trying and I'm really enjoying it, and maybe I'll make a New Year's resolution to try better with YouTube. So thank you so much for watching. Please like, comment and subscribe if you fancy chatting to me or watching me again. See you later. Goodbye.